Hey, we're back, everybody. Glad you showed up for another coffee break. We're going to talk about another phrase. I'm in the middle of a series here where I'm talking about certain phrases that may be considered cliche-ish that we can take with us every day and provide us with some gem of wisdom, if you will, right when we need it here in 2020. So I don't want to waste any time. I want to get right to it. Before I do that, though, I want to remind you that if you like these videos, please give me a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and don't forget to leave a comment in the comment boxes below, because I really would like to continue the discussion with you as we go from day to day and week to week. I do post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so if you got something you want to talk about, let me know. We'll hop on it and we will have that discussion. Okay. Now, this week I am talking about little phrases that I have been reminded of. They've floated back into my mind and I feel like they're there for a reason. And it's worth discussing. It's worth sharing anyway. And maybe someone will get something out of it, just like I am trying to get something out of it. Now, the previous video, we discussed the phrase, "This too shall pass." Today, we're going to talk about, "It ain't over till it's over," or "Until the fat lady sings." You remember that one? That's a good one. I like it a lot. And it seems to be in sync with our previous phrase, "This too shall pass." So, do you know where it comes from? I had to look it up a little bit because I wanted to make sure I got the facts right, or at least some sense of what the facts might be. And some of you might remember the phrase, "It ain't over till it's over," was a Lenny Kravitz song on his second album in 1991. So you might know it from there. And people wonder, well, did it come from him? No, it did not come from him. It actually started in baseball with the famous Yogi Berra back in the day, and he said it. And when I think about it, that makes a whole lot of sense, because I don't know if any of you have been to a live baseball game in a huge stadium, but I remember going to a lot of baseball games. I went to see a lot of Yankee games in New York, and when I lived in Phoenix, I saw the Diamondbacks play, and I would go to baseball games in San Diego. It's fun to go to a live baseball event because you get to be a part of the sporting event. You get to see a lot of people, and people are sharing in the spirit of the all-American sport of baseball. It's a people-watching event, which I'm sure you guys know by now. I'm a great people watcher if you've been listening to my videos. In any case, I remember going to several baseball games, and when you get to a certain point in the ball game, maybe just around the 7th inning stretch, actually a little after that, but before the end of the official game, you start to see people walking away. They start to leave. They're going to their car. They're going to go ahead and go on home. And I think the idea behind what Yogi Berra said, "It ain't over till it's over," means you can't count on the ending to actually be what you think it's going to be if you leave early. Okay? The other team may just pull ahead in just a blink of an eye. So if you leave too early, you won't know who's actually going to win the game. Yeah, maybe it can be a pretty good predictor, but it doesn't always turn out that way. And I think that's an important message we need to remember here in 2020 as we're trying to move through all the stuff. So it ain't over until it's over, or until the fat lady sings, right? I'd like to remember that because, you know, we're not at the end of the year yet. We are not finished with the pandemic yet. We've not finished with what the elections are going to turn us out to be, or is going to show us what's going to be. We don't know what the future is going to hold until 2020 is over. So it ain't over until it passes by. So "This too shall pass" from Monday. Today, "It ain't over till it's over." It makes a lot of sense that those two phrases should be considered side by side. And in any case, I think that it's something I need to pay attention to. It's something I need to remember because just when you think that you're just being sucker punched in and out, or you're in the middle of a boxing ring with the heavyweight champion of the world and you're the featherweight novice, and you're just getting punched in the gut, and then along comes the right hook and you're just getting beat up. If you feel beat up and it just doesn't seem to be changing, and you're trying to find steady, level ground to walk on and get your breath back again, you just have to remember there's always a little moment in there where you can catch breath. And you can take that moment to gain your balance, gain your sensibilities again. And we all need to gain some sensibilities right now and know and be reminded of who we are as individuals and where our faith should be centered on, who we are at our core, how we became that way, what is really truly important to us from day to day to day to day, and to support the other people in our lives because they're there for a reason and a purpose, and we need to support each other. So it ain't over until it's over means that we should just go ahead and take a moment to wait it out. Don't make rash decisions. Now, I think that's important because sometimes we do kind of get to a rash decision point where we're just going to do things because we feel like we need to do them. And, that may be a solid decision or it may not be a solid decision. I heard someone say on a video today about you have a permanent paralysis in decision making. So, in other words, they put off, making the decision until they felt like they had made the right decision. There's nothing wrong with that. I think sometimes if we just jump the gun too much, we might lose out on opportunities. We may not see or be enriched by what the future will hold in that situation if we just give it a little bit more time. I think a lot of people are probably at that point where like, how much more time do we give a certain situation? Where do we draw the line? Where are our boundaries here, and should we start activating those boundaries and doing something about it? The people are one in that situation. And when you're in a country like ours, we all want to come together in some kind of an agreement, but we're not necessarily doing that right now and haven't been for quite a while. But we want to try to remember, really sit down and think about what's really important and not just walk away just to walk away. And I know that for myself because I have done a lot of walking away from things in the past year, in 2019. I said no to a lot of different things. And I tried not to be rash in making that decision, okay? It ain't over till it's over. I actually have a tendency to hang on to things a lot longer than I should. That's the way I look at it. That's what I say oftentimes, but maybe that's not really true. Maybe it should be I hang on just long enough to know that I've made the right decision when I finally make the decision. And that's where I'm going at with the idea of this phrase, it ain't over till it's over, or until the fat lady sings. Give it some time. Sometimes it's a misunderstanding and you have to figure out what that misunderstanding is. Sometimes something's out of whack and you can get it corrected and things will then get back on track. And you don't have to leave a situation. But sometimes you do have to leave a situation. So you just have to weigh the checks and balances there after a certain amount of time has passed. But you got to give time to the situation before you can figure out what is the right thing to do for you and your loved ones, and just in doing what you think is best and right. Just walking away from something just because you have an initial reaction to it doesn't necessarily mean that was the best thing or the right thing to do. So I think that that plays a part in this phrase that we're discussing this week. It ain't over till it's over. But when it's over, you move on. You got to feel what you're going to feel, and then you move on from there. Don't sweep it under the rug. But don't just walk away. There's a lot of people out there who need help and need TLC and they need some extra support. And if we just walked away from all those people, where would they end up being if someone didn't believe in them enough to say, I think you need a little extra help right now, let me give it to you, and let's see if we can make it better. I'd like to say that right now, I'd like to see us supporting one another more and trying to make it better, and not just being too overzealous to the idea that we're going to start a screaming match and fight for our rights and pull out the guns and do whatever. Not that I just want to talk about all these political and heavy news items. That's really not where I'm getting at with this phrase. What I'm getting at is that, you know, it ain't over until it's over. 2020 is not over yet, and we're sticking it out. We're going to figure it out, and individually and collectively as a whole. So don't give up. You know, there is hope, and we discovered that on the last video. This too shall pass provides a sense of hope if you let it. This will also help put an extra boost into the idea that just wait it out a little bit longer and keep supporting the right things the way you feel like you need to support them. And concentrate on where your heart lies. And in that, you can pull through. And then we'll see where we're at, and if we should move on from a situation, a person, or a thing, or an event, or a job, whatever the situation might be for you. So that's what I am going to put out there to think about this week. It ain't over till it's over, or until the fat lady sings. Give it some time, but be realistic about that. And don't just walk away too soon from something that you really believed in and now you're questioning. Give it a moment to sort of balance out and see if you can figure out how you can contribute to supporting it and making it a success again. Pardon my stumble there. So think about that. And if you have any comments, I'd love to see them. Again, put them in the comment box below, and we'll get together next time for another phrase, and we'll finish out this series on phrases and in our ability to look toward the future. Until then, I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.